Hi, I'm Phyllis, southernfrugal.com. This morning we're going to go ahead and make some smoothie, and these will be green smoothies because almost everything we do, well, every smoothie we have is always a green smoothie. But I wanted to go over some of the things that go in the green smoothies. We do a lot of variety, but there are certain things like we try to get a whole grain in. Of course, we always have some kind of greens, as many fresh fruits as I can come up with, and some of the fruits are frozen. Now this morning we're having the frozen blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. And so what I end up buying at Walmart in the freezer section for the fruits is strawberries, blueberries, pineapple, and then I get the mixed berries. And now I don't really get the raspberries anymore in the single pack. They're just too strong, y'all, in a smoothie for me. But anyway, we also use fresh fruits, bananas, oranges. I use lemon sometimes, lime, peaches, kiwi, watermelon, cantaloupe, pear. If something's in season, particularly like the watermelon and the cantaloupe. And I also get the frozen mango, and if they're fresh and in season, I can get fresh mango. And I do spend a lot of money on our grocery bill buying stuff for smoothies. So in the green category, now this morning we're using baby organic spinach. My favorite, and the one that I think gives us the most energy, would be the kale, and I'm talking about mature kale. But we also do the baby kale. We do arugula. I have even used broccoli stalks. Yeah, they grind up really good and they're super healthy. I have used collards. I don't do those often, but I do pretty much every week buy the baby mixed greens that are organic. And of course I also get in that the baby kale. So anyway, those are some of the things we put in there. Now, other things that I have used on many occasions, I have used cucumber, I have used tomato, not enough so you'd know there was tomato in it, but I've actually put tomato in the green smoothies, and beets. Now, beets, when you use beets, even if they're canned beets, and I've done that before, they really take over the taste. I mean, you can definitely taste the beets. So anyway, and we try to get a whole grain. We don't try, we usually always do. Have the main one we use is oatmeal and cream of wheat. I have used brown rice. I've used quinoa, and you can get the organic in Walmart now, and sparingly, very sparingly, the chia seeds. And also I have used cooked lentils. Yeah. So a lot of these things you can use and you really won't know they're in there, but you can get the health benefit. And of course with the lentils, you actually get, let me find that on the back, 10 grams of protein. I hope y'all can see that. 10 grams of protein. And again, I do cook them. I don't use them, dry like that. Also, this is what the oatmeal and cream of wheat looks like, and I've started cooking that. I usually cook about 10 servings of both the cream of wheat. Let me show y'all that. And sometimes I get the whole wheat cream of wheat. They didn't have it this last time. And I also use the whole grained oats, the old-fashioned oats. But anyway, I cook it and then I let it cool and put it in a big casserole and cut it in squares. So this is about a cup of cream of wheat and oatmeal. Also, to sweeten the smoothies, I almost always use the Medjool dates. And this morning I'm using, let's see, 6, I'm using 7. And I also might use some honey to sweeten it, because the way I have felt about this from the time we first started smoothies, if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to keep doing it. You've got to make it taste good. Also in the nuts, now I made myself a list because I knew I'd forget some of this stuff, and I probably have left out some things anyway. We use almonds. I do roast the almonds before I freeze them. Pecans, black walnuts, coconut, English walnuts, and this morning we're having English walnuts. This little bowl holds 1 cup, so that means we'll be making over 64 ounces in the Vitamix, and so we're getting 1/4 of a cup of nuts in our smoothie this morning. Also, I try to use something orange, and mostly that's carrots. This is 2 small carrots. We also use sweet potatoes that have been cooked and then frozen. And let me see what else. Oh, I'm using just 1 orange this morning. This orange has been peeled. But if we're putting something like mature kale in a smoothie, I always use 2 fresh oranges. All right, I got a cough. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. The pollen gets to me every morning. Anyway, the other things now, I love watermelon in smoothies, and also a seasonal thing would be the pears. You know, it's very hard to get a pear to last any length of time. So we have pears every once in a while in our smoothies, especially if they're in season. And another thing I super like in smoothies is cantaloupe, fresh cantaloupe. Now, using fresh stuff means that the enzymes are still alive. Now, even if you froze your greens, if they're not blanched, you haven't heated them up, there are going to be some live enzymes still in them, just like this fruit. I mean, it's not blanched or heated up or anything, and so some of the enzymes are still alive. Now, the very best that you could do would be organic and fresh on everything, if you can do that. Now, where we live, we don't have a whole lot of options. If I wanted some super fresh stuff and all organic, I would have to go all the way to Columbia to get it. So anyway, one more thing about the dates. Now, these are those larger dates. I do steam them when I get them home, and then I freeze them on a cookie sheet. I steam them in my little steamer and get them up to a minimum of 180 degrees by using my little thermometer that you stick down in there. I just feel better about it doing that. Also, on the greens, I actually wash them in this beaker. So my greens always go in first. This is 2 huge handfuls of spinach, baby spinach. And I go ahead and fill it up with water, and then just kind of hold my hand over it and rinse it out, and then I do it again. Just because I know they're already washed, but I like to just know they're okay. All right, so the bananas. Now, I don't really get my bananas at the farmer's market anymore. I used to go ahead and get them by the big a 40-pound box, and I do still really like to do it that way. But we've been doing all kinds of other things, and I haven't been to the farmer's market in quite a while. So this was a banana from Walmart, and I froze it. It's thawed out now. Sometimes our Walmart has organic bananas. When they do, I always get the organic. All right, and using the honey, if it's not sweet enough, I'm going to go ahead and put some honey in it. I have used that agave, little stuff you get in the bottle. I have also used maple syrup to sweeten them. Now, when you use maple syrup, it just takes over the whole smoothie. In my experiences, that's really all you can taste. And I particularly like it when I use the maple syrup and I'm using a sweet potato in the smoothie for that morning. They're really, really good. But that maple taste is going to pretty well dominate everything. Also, sometimes I put a little cinnamon in the smoothie depending on which kind it is. And frequently when I use the mango, I will use some fresh ginger, just a couple of little slices in there. It just really enhances the taste. All right, so I think now I wanted to also say that we have been having green smoothies since the fall of 2012. So we've been doing it a long time. And I just feel sure I could count on one hand the number of mornings that we have gone without having our green smoothie. And they're always green smoothies. We always have some kind of greens. Now, one of the greens I particularly like, just really like them, is the baby arugula. I just love that. And the spinach will not impart much of a taste. The mature kale will give you a lot of taste, so you're going to have to hide it unless you just like that taste, which we don't. But you'll have to hide it, and part of the reason for using the oranges is it will kill the taste of the greens. Now, regular orange juice that you buy in the store would be so much easier, but it doesn't work, y'all. This is what you have to do, fresh orange, to kill the taste of kale. All right, so let's get started. We're going to go ahead and make this morning. Let me move y'all back a little bit. All right, so I've already got my greens in there, and they've already been washed. So now I'm going to add, this is the oatmeal and cream of wheat mixed together, cooked. Now, why do I cook it? Because the federal government allows the manufacturers or the growers to have a certain number of animal parts and bug parts in it. So once I knew that, I always cook my oatmeal and cream of wheat. These are walnuts. Go ahead and dump those in. And I usually put the carrots in and the dates. Now, these were frozen, but they're thawed out now. And you can see it's pretty well all the way up at the top now. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I usually use, well, I don't usually, I always use filtered water. And I do not use any kind of ice cubes or anything like that in our smoothies. The reason being because many times the fruit is frozen, so that would help keep it cool. Now, when we first started out, I was using the Oster blender, and that worked great, but then I ended up getting a Vitamix, and I can tell you the Vitamix is the Cadillac of the industry. Those Ninjas and all that are good, but we've been using this particular Vitamix, well, what, 4.5 years now? Well, no, probably 4 years. No, 4.5, I think. Anyway, I got it December 2012, whatever that is. All right, I'm going to turn this on. It's going to make a lot of noise, so we'll be back in just a second. All right, so we've got that ground up, and you see how far it went down. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. I hope I don't spill them. They're still partially frozen. Now the Vitamix, of course, is going to grind up even the seeds in the raspberries and the seeds in the strawberries. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my orange in that I've already peeled. This is a navel orange. It doesn't have any seeds. And I'm also going to put my bananas in. I'm just cutting the top off and squeezing them out. Now, when you do it this way, you don't have to be bothered with the strings. Let me turn it up so y'all can see. So I just squeeze it out. And then on the bottom part, it's going to have that little black thing in there. I don't like that, so I just pinch it at the end like that and squeeze it out. Voila, no strings. Do the same on this one. Pinch the end of it, just hold it, and just squeeze it out. Now, of course, you can't do that with a fresh banana, but you can sure do it with the frozen bananas. All right, so I'm going to add a little more water to it, so it gets up really past 64 ounces. All right. All right, we're going to grind again. We'll be right back. All right, so at this point, I'm going to give it a taste. And if it's not sweet enough, I'll add a little bit of honey. So give it a little bit of a taste. It needs to be a little sweeter, so I'm going to add honey. probably about 2 tablespoons, but remember now we've got 64 ounces here. Now the main taste of this one is certainly the raspberries. That's what I can taste. It almost tastes like a jelly donut. Raspberries have a very, very strong taste. And unless you're just crazy about raspberries, I'd be particular about how much I add in a smoothie. I know they're really healthy for you though. The other thing that imparts a really strong taste would be the pineapple. All right, going to cut it on again for just a second. All right, that should do it. Alright, so now we're going to put it in the glasses. Let me clean my area a little bit. So half of this is going to be frozen, and I'm simply using a gallon bag, and I've got this little bitty tray that I use, and I freeze it, in my freezer flat, just in case the bag might have a leak in it. So the first thing I do is fill up our glasses. This is a glass that probably holds 20 ounces, so I usually fill them up to about right there. A little more than 16 ounces. Alright, now the rest of it is going to go in the gallon bag. I just open that up and dump it in. Now sometimes, depending on what we're going to be doing, I might have multiple bags in the freezer. I try not to keep them more than about 3 weeks. I think that's the longest I've ever kept, I'll call them a pre-made smoothie. Alright, so now all we do is seal up the bag. Let me turn it down so y'all can see. Just see, I don't even label them because I can pretty much tell what's in them by the color. Alright, now just get all the air out, or as much out as I can get out. You don't want to mix stuff in the body mix for too long because you'll actually be mixing air bubbles in with it. But you really don't, I'd say 30 seconds the first time I did it, and then the next time maybe another 30 seconds. Now, sorry y'all. Well, one of the things, or one of the smoothies that's just so much our favorite is, doesn't matter what kind of greens or nuts or whole grain or any of that, but strawberry and peanut butter. I just love it. Mr. Bucky loves it. Every time we have that, we both say, boy, this is really good. Now, some people use yogurt, and that's a good idea, but I am a little bit lactose intolerant, so I have in the past sometimes used the yogurt. I've even made the homemade yogurt and used that, and that is really good with strawberries. But I pretty much don't do that anymore. It causes me a little bit of distress, you know, because I don't digest the milk products too well. All right, going to give it a taste. Okay, the dominant taste is raspberry. No big surprise there. All right, so another thing that I discovered, of course, quite by accident, is one morning, this has been, I don't know, probably 2 years ago, I was fixing the smoothie and I decided to use the sweet potato and also use the black grapes. Tastes just like chocolate to me, and of course Mr. Bucky thought it tastes like chocolate too. Something about those big black grapes, they're sweet, and a cooked sweet potato that I had of course previously frozen and thawed out, and just tastes like chocolate to me. It even looked like chocolate. And it had all the greens and the nuts and the whole grains, all that in it. but it tastes like chocolate. So anyway, okay, so I hope this helps some of y'all, especially some of you newer folks. Now, if you want to look at the smoothies, I've got a playlist there that I think's got 212 smoothies videos on it. Also some videos on how I used to freeze the greens, and I don't really do that anymore because I just kind of know what we're going to use, and I try to always get the greens with a super good date on them, and so the greens are most always fresh and pretty much always organic, unless I can't find organic. But anyway, the other fruit I forgot to mention was apples. Now, I love the Fuji apples, and I love them in smoothies, and you can taste them depending on what else you put in the smoothie. And but when you use the apple, for some reason, it makes the smoothie much thicker. So we don't do apples real often, but I do apples, and I also like to use organic when I can find them, and they do have organic apples in Walmart every once in a while. You can find them. All right, y'all, so that's it. I hope this will help some of y'all, and if you can afford it, you need to get a Vitamix. There's no comparison in that and other blenders and whatever, and I know there's all kinds of stuff out there now, but I have been making smoothies on this Vitamix since the fall of, I got the Vitamix the fall of 2013, and my blender's been up in the cabinet all this time. One time we took it to Mountain Rest, but it's pretty much been up in the cabinet. I use the Vitamix every other day for sure, and I used to use it every single day. So anyway, now I did get the Vitamix directly from the factory because I got a 7-year warranty, and I very much wanted that. Now I can't tell any difference in the way it will blend up smoothies today compared to the very first time I used it. It's really a good machine and will last a long time. So anyway, that's it, y'all. We will see y'all next time. Bye for now.